The decision on whether to repair the damaged roof of Tropicana Field was postponed this week, prolonging a state of uncertainty for the Tampa Bay Rays and the city of St. Pete.
The city of St. Petersburg is still determining where the money will come from. The stadium's roof was ripped apart by Hurricane Milton last October. The board was scheduled to vote on Thursday, but that vote was delayed. The city has an insurance policy that may pay less than half of the estimated $55.7 million to repair the facility. The city could redirect money from other parts of the budget with the expectation that they will be repaid by FEMA. But with President Trump threatening to do away with FEMA, that money is uncertain. The Rays pulled out of the redevelopment plan this month, claiming that insurance and other financial factors led them to the decision. The city has said it plans to have the field ready for the 2026 baseball season, and the Rays will play the rest of 2025 at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. That's a spring training home of the New York Yankees.
And there are so many layers to this developing story. Victor, I'd like to start with you. From a contractual standpoint, what recourse, if any, does the city of St. Petersburg have if the Rays press the issue of we need the stadium in place to play there to the end of our 2028 contract?
Well, the city's screwed. I mean, they're contractually obligated for another few more years to keep that place up and running to whatever standards the baseball and they agree to. You know, they're coming to the end of that contract, but they're still in the contract. So sadly, about a year ago, because of the insurance situation that all of us are having to face because our insurance bills are going through the roof, the city decided to save money to cut the insurance company back or what they would cover. So now they're on a bigger hook than they would have been if they had, paid the, I don't know, $500,000 premium or whatever.
The deductible is higher now.
Yeah. So they're going to have to pay it. There's no way out of it. I mean, there's a deal on the table to extend the deal with the St. Pete for 10 more years. I think everyone's so bitter right now, both sides of the fence. I personally can't even believe they walked away from the $5 or $6 billion development deal that they could have made. He could have made a lot of money on that. I mean, and from what I've talked to the people I know behind the scenes, because I work with several people in this deal, the biggest sticking point to him selling the team is that Sternberg is asking $2.5 billion to sell the team. And the team is only worth $1.5 billion. So MLB's mad, the commissioner's been that mad.
Well, and there's so much political fallout in this, Dr. McManus. I mean, what are some of the repercussions of this?
This is a classic case of economics and politics colliding. From a purely economic perspective, you got the city and the county both worried about finances at the time when spending money on this means they can't spend money on other things that are more pressing. You've got the taxpayers who are split about, do I want higher taxes to pay for this or not? And then, of course, you've got the political. Let's face it, from the get-go, there's been a tension between Tampa and St. Pete over the Rays.
Yes.
The fact that the Rays are playing their season in Tampa is catching a lot of people's attention. They're watching attendance figures. All of that's fitting into it. And then, of course, next year's an election year. So you've got people that are running. This is one of those classic things of everybody has a different pony in the show, so to speak.
Right. Daryl, what would be the best case scenario for St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch, in your opinion?
Well, that everyone would kiss and make up. I mean, if you follow this at all closely, you'll have noticed that about a year and a half ago, I mean, that's essentially where we were. Everyone was in agreement. You have so many moving parts here. You've got the city of St. Pete that is obligated. You've got the Pinellas County government that's obligated. You've got the Rays that are obligated. So many contractual parts. Finally, all of those pieces came together. Everyone was patting one another on the back and saying, we love you, everything is great, baseball is here to stay in St. Petersburg. And within 9 months, that agreement went by the wayside, and now everyone's sticking knives in everyone else's back and saying it's their fault, they caused this problem. And the ownership group is blaming the city of St. Pete, saying they didn't meet their obligations. So it's turned from we all love one another to we all hate one another, and somehow they've got to get back together, or else some of these parties are going to have to go away, and that means either the city of St. Pete or the ownership group or something like that.
And there's so much discussion on the deadlines and whether or not they're delaying votes or coming up with new plans. A lot of focus on the leaders, but there's been little focus on the 4,000 employees that work at Tropicana Field, the economic impact of the facility on the surrounding areas. Deborah, what else are we missing in these conversations?
Well, unintended consequences, and clearly there were many. From the time that the contract was proposed, the public was against it. The public saw it as corporate welfare. So
35 years ago.
yes, and again with this contract that was let for them to stay. And they weren't really thinking about the impact to the community at that point. Then the unintended consequences, hurricanes, bad decisions, reducing the amount of insurance coverage and so forth. And now you have jobs at stake. Fortunately, some of them will come to Tampa. They'll work at, the Steinbrenner Field. That will absorb some, but not all. And the longer the politicians delay the decision, the more impact on the jobs, because they're kind of at a standstill right now. They need to make a decision and move forward on a plan, a good strategic plan that the public can buy into.